Hey cutie. Welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. I am so excited I feel like I'm excited for every video always, but I'm always happy to bring the No Pan Left Behind videos to my channel. There's something about tracking my eyeshadow in this format and my eye bank. These are some of my favorite videos to film and put out on my channel. Mostly because I'm just excited to be using my collection and talk to you guys about using my collection. I know that seems super lame, but you'll have to let me know if you are also doing No Pan Left Behind. There is something so exciting about just trying to use your whole collection if you have something that is a little bit challenging to try to use every shade in. And my size collection, it definitely is a challenge for me to try to use every shade in my collection, but that is what No Pan Left Behind is. It is an attempt to use every single pan of eyeshadow in your collection. I've added the little kicker of trying to also No Pan Left Behind or use, no, I guess it's not a pan if for these products, but my loose liquid and like cream products. I'm also trying to touch all of those within the calendar year now, and I am tracking usage on those. I know I just watched my last video to kind of understand what I kind of talked about last time because it's been a while. I filmed that right on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, so it's just a lot of time has gone by. It is now the 11th of February, so I'm filming this a little later than I intended to. I was on vacation for a couple days earlier this month, so my timing is just a little bit delayed. But yeah, No Pan Left Behind. Let's talk about it. At my introduction, I mentioned that I had 748 different pans of eyeshadow to use this year. Now, I haven't really hauled it yet, and I won't really talk about it until like after my eye bank video, which is coming. It should be 2 videos from this one. But I did have a couple things enter my collection. One we're going to talk about super briefly here. One, I guess I'll mention it. I did get PR from Fantasy Cosmetica. It's their new launch. It's beautiful. I did receive that. And then I did purchase a palette myself. Again, not going to talk about those too much until the eye bank, but I will mention them in this video. So all in all, now I have 770 different eyeshadows to attempt to use within this year. So the number will fluctuate with how many eyeshadows I am trying to touch and use based on things that come into my collection, and maybe I've decluttered things. So it will change a little bit. Hopefully it makes it a little bit easier for me. So last year I did No Pan Left Behind palettes and then ended up decluttering those palettes. So all in all, I did touch more eyeshadows in my collection than like what we have now, if that makes sense. But right now my starting point is 770 eyeshadows that I'm trying to touch as of February 2024. But I do have quite a few cream loose eyeshadows that don't really have a pan that kind of get lumped into the bucket as well. And I have 818 different shades of eyeshadow in some capacity, whether it's a pan of eyeshadow, a loose eyeshadow, a cream potted product, a cream liquid like tube kind of product. I have 818 of those to use this year. That is a decent amount of items. That's a lot of items to use in 1 year. That's definitely more than 2 of them a day. So 2 new ones a day is what I really have to do to touch my whole collection, which is just crazy, especially because I know other things are going to be coming into my collection. Things are going to be going out of my collection. So this is going to be just kind of a fun thing to track, I guess. Last month, I did calculate out how many pans, how many shades I would need to use every month in order to meet that goal. So I did have to use 63 different shades in order to attempt to be on track for hitting my No Pan Left Behind this year in 2024. And I'm really excited. I've made some really substantial goals and progress in this project already. So all in all, I have used 139 different shades of eyeshadow within the month of January. Now, I will say January is typically my strongest month when I'm doing these challenges historically. I mean, I've only been doing this one other time, tracking it one other time. I have attempted to do this previously without really tracking it, but this is my first tracked or second tracked year of doing No Pan Left Behind. January has historically been my best month. It's the highest usage month. I am really like hit the ground running for this challenge and really try to do as much damage as I can in the beginning of the year, because I know this is when all of my motivation is the highest. And as the year goes by, my motivation and like the, oh crap, I have to use all these shades that I don't really want to use anymore, really hits. So January through March is typically like the best time for this project. So if I can make as much progress as possible within this first quarter, I'm going to feel really successful for the rest of the year. So I only had to touch 63 different shades this month to be on track for that goal to hit every shade this year. And I doubled that. So I've actually used way more shades of eyeshadow than I really needed to continue to be on pace for my No Pan Left Behind this year. Now, it did change a little bit. So that was based on the 748 different eyeshadows. And now that we have 770, that did change it a little bit, but it only changed it by like one pan. So really, I just have to use 64 shades of eyeshadow once I brought those pans into my collection. I now have 679 shades that I have to use within the course of this year, and that breaks down to about 58 shades per month now. So we've dropped down the amount of shades by like 5-ish, maybe not exactly, but I think that's my quick math. Yeah, that was 5 shades. So we dropped down the amount of shades that I have to use by 5. So we really only have to use 58 per month, 58 new shades. So if I've used a shade and I use it again next month, it really doesn't do anything for the No Pan Left Behind. It will impact my eye bank, which is why I kind of track these projects separately. But as a No Pan Left Behind, if I use the same shade in a palette over and over again, it really doesn't do anything for my No Pan Left Behind. Once I use a shade, I use a shade. I got to move on from the shade in order to like meet the No Pan Left Behind goal. But again, there's like a different way I'm categorizing it for my eye bank. It's all just a game for me right now. So I had 3 goals in January that I really wanted to accomplish, and I crushed those goals. I'm really happy about it. So I really wanted to hit No Pan Left Behind on 3 palettes within the course of the month, and I actually blew it out of the water. I actually No Pan Left Behind 6 palettes this past month, which is just outrageous to me. So I really want to quickly breeze through and talk about them really briefly with you guys. And I'm going to start with the palette that it's a newer palette to my collection. I haven't hauled it yet. I'm waiting for my eye bank, which will be coming on like Friday or Saturday this week. But I did purchase the limited edition Star Wars packaging Pat McGrath palette right on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. And so I did actually No Pan Left Behind my newest palette already, which is really exciting. I mean, technically this is not my newest palette anymore, but at the time this was my newest palette, and I dove into the uses on this, which is unheard of for me. Normally I wait 1,000 years before I dive into a new palette. So I'm really happy that I actually did already use every single shade in this palette, and this is going to be really, really, really beautiful come like autumn. So this is going to be probably my bread and butter birthday palette, and I'm super excited, plus Star Wars. I also No Pan Left Behind my Moon Dust palette. This is one of my winter palette rotation kind of things. This one I did end up using every shade in. I was really happy with that. This was like my workhorse go to work palette. Loved using this. Then, of course, we No Pan Left Behind my Project Level Up Level 2 palette. We hit 3 pans in that actually too, which was exciting. So every shade in this beauty was used. We'll start with the littler ones. I did finish my usage on 2 Kaleidos palettes. First is the Sashimi City. It's this gorgeous neutral color story. Absolutely loved it. The shade Pink Ginger is similar to what I have on my eyes today, but this is a different palette actually. Then I did end up using every shade in my Lunar Lavender palette. Again, Kaleidos. Kaleidos makes some incredible, probably my favorite matte formula that I've tried is Kaleidos anymore. It's just superb. They're so soft, so buttery, so blendable. And the last palette that I No Pan Left Behind is actually the Natasha Denona Gold palette here. I was really happy that I did No Pan Left Behind this one as well. This would be such a pretty like spring palette too for like these 2 shades. So I might continue to have this out come like March, April. This might be coming back on my desk. That's just such a beautiful palette, and I really don't give myself the permission to use it all too much. And then really quickly, I will just toss up on either side of me the other palette usage that I did have this month. There's a lot of palettes that I only like reached a couple shades into in the course of the month, but I am still really, really proud of the progress that I'm making in these items. I'm happy that I've already done 6 palettes, no pan left behind. I believe I have about 42 eyeshadow palettes in my collection right now. So using 6 palettes, no pan left behind style, is an enormous accomplishment to me. That is probably close to 10%. I'll have the number somewhere on the screen now that we have hit that goal for 6 palettes. I feel really accomplished with that. Because I really was only trying to tiptoe into the use on this. So I do actually have a couple goals for no pan left behind that I want to make for next time. So in the month of February, I know we're filming this a little later than normal, and I kind of already can gauge the number of pans I will probably use within the month. And I don't think I'm going to have as substantial of a month as I did last month. So really, I want to hit my monthly goal. If I can use 58 shades, that's about double of what I have currently as of the 11th. If I hit 58 shades, I'm going to feel really, really accomplished with the no pan left behind and trying to touch everything in my collection. So if I can hit that like just basic number goal for my monthly usage this month, I'm going to feel really, really accomplished. Really, my goal is going to try to be to use as many pink and red eyeshadows as I possibly can within this month because it's February. This is the time where pink and red eyeshadows really can shine. So I am probably going to focus on those kinds of shades within the next month. But really what I want to do is I want to no pan left behind 4 different palettes now. So we're just bumping the number up a little bit from what we did last month because I did 6 palettes and my goal was 3. I feel like saying 4 palettes is going to be totally acceptable. And based on I'm looking at my no pan left behind palettes right now, there is a good chunk of these palettes that actually have a couple shades and only like a handful more shades to really use to meet that goal. Maybe I should grab the palettes out. So I have a stack of 5 palettes in front of me, and if I can no pan left behind 4 out of these 5, I'm going to feel really accomplished. And most of them are Natasha Denona, so we'll really quickly talk about them first. So my Natasha Denona Purple Blue palette looks a little bit different than how it normally does because I did put some of the shades into this palette. I just dug into that shade. Oops. So I'm trying to like bite-size use this palette by building 5 pans to kind of use for the week. So I will try to no pan left behind this guy. I've used every blue shade in this palette, so that is one accomplishment that I was really happy about. The blues I struggle with, guys. I really, really struggle with. The purples I'm a little bit more okay with. I do have Oxide on my lower lash line today, and then Piggy on my inner corner. So I did get some use out of this today. Then I do have my 2 Natasha Denona retro type palettes. The first is just the regular retro. You will have seen this in both my winter palette rotation as well as my Valentine's date night palette rotation. This I really want to no pan left behind this month. I think that this is the perfect month for this palette. I've only used Go-Go so far in this palette this month, so I have a lot of work to do, but these are shades that I think I can wear to work really, really easily. I can pair them with other palettes that are in the rotation and get some really great looks out of them. And again, I really just want to focus my use the next week or 2 in this palette, I think. Then the Retro Glam is something that I think I'm going to focus on like the last week and a half of the month, just because this kind of tiptoes into the green realm that March kind of takes me to. So having this as like the last week palette and then go into March, I think this is going to be something that I'm probably not going to hit the no pan left behind goal, but I'm going to be able to get a good head start heading into March. Something that is going to be a little bit more challenging for me is going to be the 𝙇𝙞𝙘𝙀 palette, and mainly because this is more jewel toned than anything else. But I did wear this shade yesterday, or like it was a work from home day, so I only did eyeshadow, and I wore that all over my lid, and it was so pretty. I need to do stuff like things like that more often, where maybe I'm not super keen on a palette, or maybe I'm just like worried it's going to be too dark, just throwing a shade on that might be intimidating, but as like a softer wash of color all over the lid, it looked so pretty. This would have looked really pretty in this look today as well, maybe just tapped on the outer corner kind of thing. But this palette is so pretty. It's more like jewel toned, so it might be a little bit better for those darker winter kind of days. So this might be like late night date night. Did that make sense? That rhymed too much. But I have 6 more shades in this to use, and so I feel like I could definitely do it if I really pushed myself. And then last is going to be the one that I should have an easy time to no pan left behind, because I only have 2 shades left in this this month, and that is the Sugar Drizzle on Top of the Mountain Beneath the Stars palette. Technically, as we're filming the no pan left behind, I have 3 pans to use this month, but I've already used one, so I have 2 shades left in this palette. And it's these 2 center ones that are like a little bit more blue and a little bit more green. So it's so pretty though. Oh my God, I just threw that. We're good, guys. I just threw that palette on the ground though. Oh my goodness. So this is the more blue kind of tone. It's like, it's so pretty. It's one of those like super sheer ones, so it really can just look really holographic. And then the more green kind of one, oh, it's so pretty. I love these. They make great inner corner shades. They make great cheekbone highlights. They make great topper shades. This is so stinking pretty, and I absolutely love it. And that shade had a little fluff that came up. I think I can get some use out of those 2 shades, no problem. The more green one will probably go better with my Pan That palette, the shades that have a little bit more green flip to it. So I can wear that as an inner corner shade with my Pan That palette and have a really cohesive look. But I gotta run to Costco now. And if you know anything about Costco, you gotta get there right when they open. So I'm running out of that window where I can get there right before they open. So I hope you guys are having a great day. You'll have to let me know if you're doing no pan left behind in any capacity on your guys' space, whether it's here on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you just do it on your own. Let me know. I would love to cheer you on and root for you in your no pan left behind. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!